It is. We're so anyway. So today is album release day, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your incredible and tremendous contribution to the Atlas Underground Fire and our song Night
Oh
Wind.
man,
It's great.
it's so good,
and you're super badass, and I love it, and I appreciate you.
You're such a badass. It was crazy because like I don't know how we got connected, but someone on my team was like, just so you know, like Tom Morello is going to be texting you, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? It's pretty surreal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I ever sort of like told you the story of how I just discovered you. And so anyways, it's lockdown time, and I'm making a record in my studio here where I don't know how to use any of the buttons, right? So I start recording like guitar riffs and stuff into my phone and sending them to different producers and stuff to make tracks. And Kill Dave, who's an excellent sort of producer and engineer, and sent him some tracks, came up with some hot ones. And I was like trying to like get outside of my, box of listening to nothing but like AC/DC and Black Sabbath and whatnot. So I was asking some friends who have cooler musical tastes than I do to suggest to me artists, like tell me a song that you think is great, or an artist you think is great that may not be on my radar. And you came up multiple times. And I know you're also friends with Jacqueline. I know you're friends with Jacqueline Saturn, who was the person who was responsible for the radio promotion for Rage Against the Machine and Audioslave, and she's a good friend of mine. And anyway, so I saw like you on her Instagram and stuff. I'm like, she's like, this woman is so badass. I love your voice. I love your vibe. And so I think I just kind of text you out of the blue. I'm like, hey, this is Tom Morello. I'm not sure you know who I am, but would you like to make a jam today?
Yeah, I definitely know who you are. I literally, I mean, I probably didn't tell you all this because I was probably trying to play it really cool, like during the whole process, which is, fine. But my older brother is the guy responsible for turning me on to Rage. We would always listen to it in the car. It was like one of the only bands my mom could tolerate was Rage. So immediately I was like down, and I was just like, it was just surreal. It's still crazy, like just all throughout today, like getting like texts from people, and the album's just so cool. Like there's just so many legends on it, and it's really awesome that you were able to kind of curate yourself and like have that ear and like shape the project how you wanted.
I mean, it was the curating this record was really like an absolute lifeline. It was so chaotic and so crazy and so anxiety filled that this, not just like recording these songs and then kind of creating these like kind of rock and roll pen pals like yourself. It was really sustaining during that time. So I want to talk a little bit about the song, because the song kind of took a journey. So I originally, let's start from the beginning. So I sent you, I think, 3 tracks. Is that correct? Yes. And then what was it about the one that eventually became Night Witch that you responded to? Why that one?
It kind of reminded me of Bjork. Like, I don't remember what song it is by Bjork, but the beat in the beginning, maybe it kind of reminded me of Human Behavior, like the BPM of it. And the way that it's just like, it feels like walking. So I was like, okay, I could hear like a female vocal on this, and it felt Bjorkish. So
that's awesome. I mean, I love that. I mean, it's one of the things that I've not been afraid to do, is kind of step outside of my safety zone, and to create tracks during lockdown that sound like they might be a Bjork track. I take as a high compliment. That's super awesome. So anyway,
totally.
So then you did some. The song sort of went through a narrative journey. Right. So tell me a little bit about that, because I think I love sort of the whole path.
Yeah. So I always use the word forever. It's tatted on my hand.
Gotcha.
Like I kind of like camouflage it into different things. So that kind of helped the hook come to life. But then you had this crazy story and kind of turned me on to the Night Witch thing, which I didn't even know was a thing. But after you came to me with that, I was like, oh, wow, that's like, we got to go with that. And so Tom kind of helped with the writing and like the shaping of the story.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them what it means?
Yeah, sure. So I will. So I love the vocals and the melody and everything that what you sent back to me. Like right off the bat, I was like, like, this is dope. This is exactly what I hoped for, in reaching out to you when we were working together. And the narrative was originally one that was sort of like sort of breakup, like I may be leaving you behind. You just cannot be counting on me to be here for you. I said, that's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. But what if we gave it like a historical context? And I had just been reading about the night witches. The night witches were these Red Army bombers during World War II. They were female bomber pilots in the Red Army who bombed the shit out of the Nazis. And they flew in gliders so that like the sound of the gliders was sounded like sort of like a witch's broom to someone on the ground. And originally the Nazis called them night witches derisively, like as an insult, but they came to like sort of own that title, like they were the night witches and were coming to bomb the shit out of you. And I thought, what if we take this kind of like love story, breakup story, and put it in the cockpit? And that she's leaving him now. She's leaving him now and may not return because she's going to go win World War II.
That's so dope.